Breigh, how you feeling today?
What's up? I'm feeling blessed and highly favored.
Hey, you were doing much better than you were last week, just like I am.
Yes.
I feel like we both were
Beautiful. Nice.
we
That's
were
what it's
low last.
about. Progress.
So I wanted to ask you about something. We talked about it offline, but I don't know if you've been seeing recently. So I really want to ask you about the topic of body positivity, but it came to my mind because when we typically think about it, we think of like plus size women dealing with body
Mm-hmm.
positivity issues,
Mm-hmm.
but it affects, women of a smaller build and it affects men. And I just wanted to get your thoughts because, there's a lady online, black woman online, and she was twerking, you know what I'm saying, expressing herself, and everybody was talking about how her body looked, talking about she had a little kid body and all that stuff, which is crazy
Mm-hmm.
because she's a woman. She's very much a woman
Mm-hmm.
and very much
Yeah.
feminine, but they were making
Yeah.
it seem as if it wasn't as attractive as someone with a larger build.
I honestly think there's so many layers to that. I think there's this East Coast West Coast beef
Mm.
against skinny women
Ooh.
towards plus size women. I think I've been on both ends. I have been skinny and I am larger figure, and I will admit I definitely had West Coast beef with skinny women, but I
That's
had to
real.
realize that's my own insecurities. So I think that's one thing. Another thing is that body positivity can't be one-sided. It can't be let's praise only larger women to, accept themselves, love themselves, but then when a woman who's petite, we shit on them. Like we can't do that. That's one-sided. That's not body positivity. That's just wanting acceptance of yourself and wanting to be seen for self. Yeah.
That made me think because I remember back in the day, because my mom's a larger size woman. So my mom, I've always
Mhm.
kind of been around women who are larger, who took
Mhm.
pride in their size. But it always made me
Mhm.
think about like how Monique was always like, she would always make jokes and
Yeah.
comments maybe about skinny women.
That
Then
was
when she
projecting.
lost weight, it was like, well, I was
Projection.
unhealthy. I was like,
Yep. It's projection. It's projection of what Monique did with the whole skinny bees. I'm sure I would want to think now who she is now, she would probably see and be like, you know how they say give people a chance to grow. I think she wouldn't do that now.
she wouldn't.
I don't think she would do that at all. I also see the effects of like social media, filters. For me, I don't filter myself because I want people to see everything,
Right.
every roll on me, every scar on my face, because I think the filters give this illusion of perfection, of being perfect, and also condone body dysmorphia.
See, that body dysmorphia got me to thinking because there was a dude, he wrote an article about how a lot of men suffer from body dysmorphia. Because,
Yes.
I had,
Yes.
I had an issue, and I know people gonna say, but like I had an issue where like to my fiance and others, they'd be like, "Oh man, you trimming up," and I don't see it. I'd
Right.
be like, "Man, I really feel like I'm
Mm,
big." They'd be like, "No, you've actually lost inches. Like you're not the same. Your inches are going down. Da da da. You're healthy." And I
mhm.
just be like, "But I have like a vanity or a look in my
Yeah.
head cosmetically how I should
Of
look."
how you should, yeah, that's the same with me. It's so funny when I did these extreme diets and basically damn near killed myself. I thought, the answer was to be skinny. And when I was skinny, that still wasn't enough. Gain the weight, that still wasn't enough. But it's an internal thing.
And
It's an
you had
internal thing, and body dysmorphia it's a real thing. You're thinking, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this and that, and someone sees you totally different, but you're like, I don't see that. And then you find yourself looking at old photos and you're like, I wasn't even this person that I said I was, you
you had
know?
to have that convo with me like about a month ago because I was telling you I was getting on the scale and I was getting blowed. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Stop looking at the scale. Like, how do you
Yeah,
look? How
that
do you feel?
scale.
Because it's crazy. I could get in my clothes, and like I tell people all
Mm-hmm.
the time, just because of like genetics and everything. My mom was a bigger woman. My pop was
Right. Thank you for saying
athletic.
genetics.
So exactly. So my thighs, just in general, are pretty big, right? So I can have a 33 waist,
Mm-hmm.
which is good, but the
Mm-hmm.
thighs have to be a certain build because it just my legs
Mm-hmm.
are bigger. So I could wear 33. I've been wearing 33 for like the past 2 years. At one
Yeah.
point in time, I was wearing 36. That was a little
Mm.
heavier. I wear 33 and I'd be like, man, shit, bro, I'm fat. And I just be, and my girls just be looking at me like, the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, because
No, that's real.
I don't see what she see. You know what I'm saying?
It's real. I think with the scale, as someone who has an eating disorder and is recovering for that, I think the scale is not my friend. I went from weighing myself every day to now maybe once a month, but eventually I think I want to get rid of the scale and measure myself by how do I feel? How does my body feel? How am I treating myself? But that is a total journey and it's no judgment or any shame for anyone who is, still doing things like that, because I see for me now, for me, that it's just not a
That's not
healthy
healthy.
behavior for me. I'll start overthinking, I'll start getting in my head, I'll start thinking I'm fat, I'm this, I'm not worthy, I'm not this, and that's just not good for me. But it's a that whole the whole journey of what you look, your image on the outside, and just how like our country is really fat phobic.
Hmm.
It's kind of frustrating, but I also played a role in that too. I was very fat phobic while being fat. Isn't that crazy?
I tell people all the time, like my mom to this day kills me because, like, so my mom was heavier. She's not now. She,
Mhm.
diabetic, and she just
Mhm.
really does not eat as much anymore. She lost a lot of the weight she gained, but
Mhm.
she would always be like telling me as a kid not to be like fat phobic and not to discriminate on girls who were larger. But I'd be
Mhm.
like, but you don't like fat men? She'd be like, I sure don't.
Exactly. Isn't that ironic?
That's very ironic, yo.
Because men go through the same stuff. I just think again with societal, I think how do I say this? I just think it's more escalated with women,
It is.
and but there are still men out there who struggle with the same thing too.
That made me
Yeah,
think because, like, and I think it ties into what you were saying. We have an issue like of comparing ourselves to people.
absolutely.
I had to stop because, like, a lot of people I hung out with in college, they was former college athletes. A
Mhm.
lot of them were,
Yeah.
I was number one in my area and this and that. And so I would always look at them and be like, damn, bro. Like, even when I was like, I remember when I was like 165 in college. That's really
Mhm.
skinny. I was like, man, my
Yeah.
clothes was hanging off me. And I was like, but I'm not athletic build. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then
And
I
and
got
it goes back to genetics, like you said. Like we if I have two parents who are larger size, what is most likely do you think my build is gonna be? So, and this is no shade, but it's like just because you pay thousands for a BBL, your body still is not going to look the same. And even with BBL, I think we shame the BBL community too, because it's like if they want to do that to their body, let them do it. But I just hope that it's because they actually want it and not to appease other people. That's the other thing. That's when it gets tricky. And also just getting surgery but then promoting it as healthy and as if they naturally had it. That's the thing
see,
for me. But yeah, genetics. Just because I get a BBL to change my body, I still am not gonna look like everybody else.
and see, that's my only thing with everything. If you get in surgery, you getting your breast altered or your butt
Yeah.
lifted, because that's what you want to do. You say,
Cause
yo,
you want that, yeah.
I had a child, I want to look this way for my
Right.
husband, or I just want to look that way for me. Do you?
Right.
But
Right.
if you getting the fat trimmed and sucked and saying, yeah, look
Right.
at my meal plan, all right, man, don't do that.
Right. Exactly.
It's
For
dudes doing that with steroids too, though. That got to be
absolutely. I
addressed.
mean, one of the entertainers we admire gets their stomach sucked out, but that's no judgment. I mean, people let people do what they need to do for them, but just don't promote it on the level of it's got to be this way or that way, and also as this is healthy, because it's not. It's false.
And see,
And think about what that does to. I saw a study when I say this. I saw a study that said younger girls as young as 7 now worry about their body
yep.
size.
And see,
7.
I say that just to say I remember teaching my first year, and I was teaching sixth graders, and there was a girl I used to teach that she was like 11 at the time,
Mhm.
and she's in college now. And I
Mhm.
will never forget how she used to be so obsessed with, I wish I could be thick. I wish I'd be like,
Yeah.
you run track, baby. Your build is
Yeah.
not her build. I was like, but you're
Yeah.
beautiful. Don't try to
Yeah.
alter. And I said, weight will come when you get older. Don't worry about
Right.
that. And she spent so much. She's finally now starting to accept like being petite, but
Right.
we got a problem in our society of not like I got, and I've been guilty of it when I've
We
dated
all been
chicks.
guilty of
Like,
it.
man,
We all
I wish
learn.
she was thicker. And then kind of just
Mm-hmm.
come down. That may not even be what you want, but don't also lower
No.
her value because it ain't what you think you want.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You accepted her. That's why, like, and again, the whole you accepted me at this size, why is the problem? With that, we talked about this before. If I'm this size, so I'm assuming that you set me. I probably should ask instead of assuming. That's one. So
That's
that's on
real.
me.
That's real.
And if I ask you and you say, "Yes, I do accept you as this size," that's fine. But if I gain weight, that's on the person of what they want to do with the journey. I think it's also just a conversation, but this whole like I'm living my life and my body for other people, I'm not with that shit no more. I was into that of just like society. I got to look like what society wants me to look like and be. Yeah, that whole
But they're not happy though. That's the part that's crazy. Like,
yeah, they're not happy. We think the answer is surgery. We think the answer is get on social media and take all these flicks of my body and get likes off of it, but it's not. The answer is doing our work. The
and
answer
see,
is going on that journey and being honest. Like, let me tell you, I've just about tried every diet.
I
Like,
believe it.
I
I
don't
believe
just be talking on my butt just to be talking about it. Like, yeah, and it's also a thing of like environments. Like say when I lived in LA,
Oh man,
you
I couldn't
don't
even
see
imagine.
women who are of plus size.
No, you
You
don't.
don't see women that are the shade of me. And I'm just gonna keep it a buck. It's a
That's
lot of
real.
colorism in LA. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, a lot of colorism and a lot of fat phobia. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
It is.
But then I go down south, it's like, oh, your hips and butt is accepted,
Come on
you
down.
know, or because you have natural hips and butt, that's valued in
It is.
our community
It's a
versus
privilege.
someone else of smaller and like, hey baby, you're not eating. So either you're telling someone, you're shaming someone saying that they're not eating and claiming that they have an eating disorder, but then you're seeing someone of large who is eating and telling them to stop eating while telling them to eat, and then also accuse them of having an eating problem.
And see, that's the problem in the community. Like,
Yes.
you have a lot of dudes who just have a naturally small build who don't feel like
Mhm.
they swole, so they have a
Mhm.
complex, and dudes try them, but then you have dudes
Yeah,
who are
they will.
swole, and it's like, but your heart is in terrible condition. You
Yeah.
have
Everyone
preemptive
thinks
diabetic.
yeah, everyone thinks that muscular build is like healthy. Like everyone thinks of if I look small or muscular, I'm healthy. That is not true whatsoever. It's not, it's far from the truth.
Because it's
And
a lot.
my homegirls used to laugh at me because I used to either like lanky, tall guys, or I used to like bigger men. And they was like, why do you like lanky guys? And I'm like, they're beautiful. Like, I don't understand, but they saw it as like they don't have any weight on them, blah, blah, blah. So it makes me think about just like, the lanky guys out there. You are worth it. Your
Thank
size
you.
does not
Tell the
your
brothers there, love.
size does not define you, because I have witnessed like guys with smaller built BTs for that. And it's like it's nothing you can do about that. That's in his genetics.
And honestly, if you a skinny, if you a tall, lanky guy, you just gotta have a different set of confidence because you know people gonna play with
They
you.
gonna try you.
They're gonna try you. You
Yeah.
gotta have a different set of confidence.
Yeah.
But I
I
also,
okay. Okay, I'm gonna take it there. Something else
but
came up. I'm speaking from self. I
yeah,
think as a woman of larger figure and having to deal with the insecurities of that, I think I had to, as a young child, be witty and funny.
you do have to be noticed, and I'm. It's
That
the
was my way of notice. It wasn't looks or size in fear of like being, well, I was teased for my size, but yeah, my way was through comedy.
and
Let me be
see
the jester.
and see. I think the coping mechanism deep thing is
Mm-hmm.
real because, like I said, I'm just being real. It'd be a lot of
Yep.
girls who are considered pretty and skinny,
Whatever that means.
and they
Yeah.
don't really per se say anything. People notice them,
Mm-hmm.
and
Pretty privilege is a thing.
it is. And
You
see,
see it on there.
it's a
People are
thing
getting
on both
paid
sides.
just to be pretty. Yeah.
It's a thing on both sides because, like, as
Yep.
a dude, it's like I tell you all the time. This is not me trying to be down this lane. Dark skin really wasn't a cool thing for
No,
women
it
or men
wasn't.
until lately.
Name
Stop
it.
lying.
Call it. It
It just is
wasn't.
what it is. Like, if you was a dark skinned dude coming up, you was all type of burnt biscuits
Mm-hmm.
and You know,
Aggressive. There's this whole thing with the word dark and aggressive, and I don't understand it. I wish there was another way. I wish there was another word that I can, when people talk about walk in your light and get out of the dark, I wish there was another way. I try to say gray now, but I wish there was another word for dark, because every time I hear dark now, I just think of how people connect that to us. And I
and that's
hate it.
how. And
I hate it.
here's the thing about those negative connotations,
I
because I
hate
talk
it.
to my fiance about it all the time. I said, so y'all perceive a darker man as more dominant, aggressive, a better
Before he
fighter,
even
which
opened
is
his
not
mouth.
true, and it's not always true. And
No.
and I said, well, brothers, I said, I figured y'all out. Y'all perceive a darker girl as freakier, a
Right.
lighter girl is more chaste, and a more of a pride.
More chasing, more deserving. Woo! You just hit a nerve there. Jesus.
That's it.
Wow. Yeah. No, yeah.
And to tie off something you said earlier, and I'm being funny, but women with smaller bills, you deserve to be loved and acknowledged for what you have too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, as a woman, you have value. As a person, you have value.
Absolutely.
Beyond any
We
gender.
should be defined more than our body anyway.
That's it.
For me, I don't want to be defined by my body.
I believe it. I really, and I'm
I
being
don't want to
honest
use
with
my
you.
body to get things. I just don't.
As I get older, I really have to assess like how I used to pigeonhole women, and still sometimes
That's
do.
honest. That's honest. Now you cooking.
I mean,
That's honest.
I didn't see it
Yeah.
until I started teaching kids. That's when I started seeing everything. Like I never
Mm,
forget this one convo we were talking to students, and I said, we're in a generation now where women are doing more than ever before, and I was like, there are advantages
mm-hmm.
to it. And I never forget this girl. She was so smart. She was just like, but in what you're saying, isn't that also revealing like that you slightly have a bias towards the progress that women are making? I was like, that's a fair
Ooh,
argument.
yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't normally admit that, but I was like,
Yeah. Wow.
hey, I still have archaic views towards how girls should be reared and how they
Yeah.
should behave. Like I was joking about, you remember we were talking about the Trina song, The Baddest, the other day. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my head, it sounds cool for women to be like, this is who I really want to be. But in my head, I'd be like, yeah, yeah.
I don't. I'm going to admit, I don't think my perspective. I don't think a lot of people want to be who they are, at least who they perceive on the internet.
It's roles. It's roles.
It's roles too. It's personas. Let's call it what it
There it is.
is,
It's
bro.
wrestling. It's
It's
WWE
personas.
wrestling. It's WWE wrestling.
It's
Like
personas.
you
It's
talk to
like when
people.
it's like when the clown get to putting their makeup on. It's like, all right, let me log in on Instagram. I'm dead ass. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, so for me, the fact that I'm not even on social media right now, I found myself comparing. Is that great? Absolutely not. But I gotta be honest with that.
That's
I
real though.
can't let that control me. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
real.
then even the whole comparison is like, it's funny because I'm not comparing an exact thing. I'm just comparing that of what my life looks like right now. And I understand, again, that's not good, but allow me to feel that, you know?
No, that's
I
real though.
think
What you were
everyone
saying.
cares, and their first thing is be positive, be positive. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to feel what I'm feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the comparison is real.
Nah, that's toxic positivity.
Right, right. You
You
can't
know what
stop.
I'm
And
saying?
even that, see, I'm getting in a whole tangent, but even with that, it shows how like society is like hustle, 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 but you don't have time to feel. You do not have time to feel. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Wear a smiling face. Again, the clown. Today was a shitty day, but I'm getting on Instagram and I'm gonna say, only God can judge me. Have a couple of quotes, show off a car that's like all this stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yo,
I want freedom, my G. I want freedom. So
nah,
I'm just not on that.
and the personas, man, like you were saying, I've literally, and I catch myself sometimes. It just be like, all right, I'm about to tell y'all to do the exact opposite of what I do.
No, that's facts though. That's we're humans. And I also think I'm gonna be honest too, because I do the persona too, and I have to catch myself. I think we all do that out of survival. I think we do it out of survival. I think we do it out of acceptance. I think we do it out of fear. But that's like a deep dive. Like it's so much layers to that yeah, if you're not careful, you'll find yourself playing a character in a role that you don't want to do.
And see, that was a talk I had with my boy the other day, and it ties me back to the basic of we really got into the point where people, when they authentically express who they are, people
Oh,
did take you out for being who you
oh,
are online. Like Shorty was like, I'm gonna twerk because that's how I feel. And people was like, it don't look good to me. It's how she feel.
how she feel, and y'all in the same breath tell people to accept themselves,
Yep.
express themselves, be vulnerable. Why don't you guys just be vulnerable? Please be vulnerable. The
Talk to
minute
me if you
Shorty's
have
being
mental health
honest,
issues. You know,
it's a
you bring your
problem.
mental health issues by talking about me. Then you say, talk to me about it.
Right. If you projecting, just say that.
I ain't gonna lie, most of this stuff online is projection.
That's
That's why
all
I be
it
getting mad.
is. There are really miserable people online. And it's sad because it's like I try to have compassion for them because they're going through it. But it's no need to just be like, today was crappy. I'ma just give such and such celebrity a hard time. You ain't nothing.
Like, what are you
And for
doing?
me, I do critique when it comes to entertainment. I'ma own that. But I would never be nasty and be like, such and such just needs to go ahead, or such and such just needs to kill themselves. Like, that's terrible.
That's what I'm saying. It's a difference between critiquing the art form, like if
Right.
it's a
Because it's
role, or
subjective.
that's what I'm saying. Like I might say, oh, I wasn't feeling that song. I'm not gonna say
Right.
this person shouldn't be alive, or I hope something bad happens. I'm like,
Right.
yo, you
Y'all
take that
take it
away.
so far.
And we saw that a lot this week with different things because there was so many posting this week about different events. And I was like, y'all, on a
Wow.
real level, I don't know these people, have no idea
Mm-hmm.
their circumstances, their situations.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have an opinion on it. And the fact I'm talking about another person's life is kind of bothering me because I got tricked into
Mm-hmm.
talking about another
Man,
person's
that's
life.
a fact. Yeah. I find myself reading something about celebrities, or I find myself saying, man, I hate Shade Room, and then find myself on Shade Room, and then I take a moment and I'm like, wait, why do I care? What am I doing?
Yep.
I gotta be honest with that. Instead of telling people you shouldn't be on Shade Room instead of that, I know what it is, but I do find myself on there, and then I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, backtrack. What are you doing? Why
But
do you care?
this the other part about that though that I hate about people saying stuff. It's like, dude, y'all make it seem like every day, like people say when you motivated, the time just flies. Stop lying, bro. Like you can still be
I'm
motivated, but I'm
saying
still
about
gonna piss you off.
positivity. That's bruh. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying be motivated, be positive. But if you're doing it every day, I call cap,
It is
cap,
cap.
cap, cap.
It is all cap because I swear they make it seem like
Be
okay,
motivated.
working on my book, editing, no time to watch the Young Rock show.
Right. But you had time to write it on Twitter, right? You had time to do that, right?
Cap.
I hate when someone's like, just wash the dishes, drying my hands with a paper towel, writes it on Twitter. It's just like, what?
We in that time
And
though.
I used to do, and when I was in my early 20s, I used to feel like when I was working in news, I got to show everything behind the scenes, which is kind of funny now because news people have to do that now. But I was doing it before, you didn't have to do it just to show, document. All that was wanting attention and wanting people to see. See,
Man,
I'm not a low life.
but I
I am doing something. Please
that's where
give
I'm
me
struggling at.
validation. But
But
it's
that's why
like, I don't have to tell people every single move. Like, it's every single move. Just talk to my bro. We connecting. We collaborating. I just went on an app. I went on a free app that has coloring and words you can add. Coming soon.
I know what that is. Cause I
Bro,
that's why I be
listen.
struggling now. I just be like, like I said, my fiance have to be like, no one has to know. It won't change it. No one has to
Right.
know. No one
It
has
just
to
made me.
know.
There was one year, I'm gonna call myself out. There was one year that I literally, this is how crazy things can be if you're not careful. I literally was like, I like nail polish. I want nail polish that's not as chemically, not too many chemicals contained. Found a supplier in Florida, paid the grand, started this whole business. Guess what? When the first day came, guess what? I did about a week and was over it. Cause guess what I realized? I didn't want to do this. Why did I do this?
So people can see.
So people can see.
So people can
Wow, right? Could have saved myself $1,000. Wild.
and see.
Well, when you think about it, it's wild, right?
It is. But
But
I've been
every time
there.
I see the memories of that, I just laugh of just like, girl, you didn't want to do. I ain't got my nails painted now, bro. Like these bottles of nail polish, and I'm like, well, I mean, the beauty is I got enough up to my 60s or 70s to use. I mean, but that's just an example of like how you can
Yo,
get you do things when you don't even want to do it.
but see, that's how it is with a lot. That's why I think someone told me they were like, "Don't worry if you see someone copying your lane. If it's not for
Bro.
them, they're gonna stop very soon."
Oh, every time. That's true. That's facts. That's
Because
facts.
you start seeing people like, yeah, dropping da da da, dropping da da da, and I just be sitting here like, oh my god, you so inspired. Then I'd be like, chill out, chill out.
I with that inspired, I also wonder too. Some people might be like, God damn it, Breigh, you're so damn analytical. Do you have to analyze every damn thing? Yes.
Yes, yes,
I do.
yes.
Do I want to do that? No, I'm working on that and I'm reading
But
a
I
book
can't
about
help
it.
it.
But for right now, yes.
I can't help it. Nah,
I
touch
was
on
wondering with Inspire, do people really want to inspire? Do they just really want you to say, please validate me? Because when a lot of people say, when I see a lot of bios that say, I want to inspire,
not
they
really.
don't say what, they don't say who, they don't say, they just say, I want to inspire. And it's just like, well, what exactly? Or, I
That's
mean,
some ego
again,
shit. That's some ego shit.
right. Do you want to inspire? Do you just want people to tell the little child in you of like, you're doing great, Billy?
That's really what all this should come down to, right?
I just,
And we said this
this
like
is
numerous
why,
times.
this is why I end up isolating, which I know it's not good.
That's what it should come down to, though. That's what exactly what it comes
But
down
you
to.
just see certain shit and you're just like, I know what the fuck is going on.
And then when you say it, people will be like, yo, you just cynical. I'm like, no, this shit is obvious. This shit's so obvious.
It's in your face.
Man,
The
tie,
machine is in your face.
tying into that, because I want to ask you
Okay, okay.
before we're gonna start wrapping up, I want to ask you this. So you remember on Twitter when old girl did that story, the Zola story. Well, you know
Oh my
they're
God.
making a movie out of that now. I wanted to get
Wild.
you on it because you've been talking a
Doing
lot
too much.
about how Twitter stuff goes on there,
Mm-hmm.
and people have been taking from creatives and
Mm-hmm.
piggyback off it. Well, now do you think it's gonna start a trend?
Oh, it's already started. They quote unquote I believe she gave the rights to them or something, but I'm sure she still got scrutiny and I'm sure she didn't get paid her worth. That's a whole nother topic for another story with Black creatives. No one's gonna want to talk about it, but we're gonna talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is a lot of your faves who are millionaires in these big nice houses take their ideas off Twitter and they've been called out for it. Without saying a name, there was one who took an idea of I guess it was a college show and a transfer was an HBCU student and the girl had receipts and everything. And here my butt is wanting to pursue writing, and I was like, hey, maybe you should take this down because like you don't want to break connections. But it's like, no, I should have stood up with that Black woman and said, no, this ain't cool.
And it be like that, and I'm not saying it to judge because I
Yeah.
understand when you
It's
get
hard. It's hard because you're like, well, I don't want to mess up connections because everybody in the entertainment industry is connected. That's why I'm like, I'm just gonna say it. The way how old boy is able to move and burn bridges, it's fascinating because everyone is connected.
Yep.
And then not only connected, they end up going to different companies, and like it just grows a
Like, how
network.
can you shit on one person and not have to see their friend later?
Yeah,
Like,
yes. That's how small the industry is. So that's But that happens a lot.
It does. And it just made me think because like I know we started out talking about like body positivity, but I think that same mindset translates to everything. Even when you create, like you have to know that even if someone doesn't pick up your story, it's still good.
It's absolutely still good. And it's for you. What do you think? I know it's good to get feedback. I know it's also a good feeling to have your friends or family or whoever say, man, that's a good idea, Sam, or man, you're doing good. But it's also for like, is Sam and Breigh doing this because they actually want to do it?
Facts.
From an authentic place, or am I doing this, to get my follows and likes up and to get my ego up and to get my confidence up? You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
That's what it be about.
Yeah.
But I say that just to say that was what we came to really talk about. But I appreciate you just being honest with me. We got
it. Listen.
We got
We
busy.
can keep it a buck without being. I can keep it a buck without being mean.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
that's, I think that's all we do. And it's our month. So we just gonna keep it real with y'all. It's our
Oh,
month.
Aries all month, baby. What's up? Happy early birthday
Happy
to
early
us.
birthday to you
Happy
too.
early birthday
Hey,
to us.
once this airs, make sure that y'all send a very, very big happy birthday to Breigh.
To both of us. Well,
And
I'm not on social media, so I won't take it personal if you don't. Honestly, I don't want to hear from everyone on my birthday. I want time to myself, and that's nothing. That's nothing personal. I'm really on some Kanye stuff now. But everyone send Sam a tweet, a comment, follow.
yo, blow her phone up, yo. Text her.
No, don't do it. It'll be
I'm just
changed the
picking with you.
next
Don't
day.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But no. To all my Aries out there, happy birthday, y'all. Breigh, happy birthday in advance. Please enjoy your day. I'm gonna hit you up and I'm gonna send you something, of course.
And if I don't answer, don't take it personal.
I promise I won't, because I'm not gonna answer on my birthday. I ain't gonna lie to you.
As you shouldn't. It's our birthday. Like, no,
No,
no.
I'm just
At
glad to
least
be
this
alive.
day, no.
I'm just telling
Hey
y'all today.
Sam, can you do no? Breigh,
Nope.
can you do no?
No.
No.
And I'm gonna just be honest. I'm just glad we alive and we able to go outside this time, because y'all stole last year from us.
Oh my God. Last year I had a little streamer in the front of my bedroom to say happy birthday. Jesus, I'm not doing that.
Man.
What are you doing for your birthday, by the way?
Uh, me and Fifi gonna take a trip. I ain't gonna front. We're gonna take a
Okay.
trip.
We
And
ain't gonna get into it, but enjoy
I'm gonna
yourself,
tell you
bro.
off air, of course.
Enjoy yourself, bro. You and Fifi enjoy it.
You already know. You already know. And I'm gonna tell you your birthday coming up next week too. We make sure that we're gonna shout you out. So
Thank you, Queen.
much love. But hey, to the people listening, as always, share, comment, like. We love to get y'all's thoughts. Much love. Peace.
Much love, y'all.